Welcome to episode number 75. In today's episode, we're going to talk about alignment. Because if you've ever felt overwhelmed, if you've ever felt like, one area of your life is going really well, but there's another area of your life that you're failing out at miserably, well, it's because your life is out of alignment. And in today's episode, I'm getting into the 8 areas of focus. So there's really 8 areas of our life that brings this sound, complete wholeness to our life. And when any of those are out of whack, well, it brings us all out of alignment. So I'm going to give you those 8 areas of alignment. Stay tuned. So the big question is, how do ambitious people like us, who grew up listening to the old advice of go to school, work hard for 40 years, and retire when you're old, create a life today that is meaningful, abundant, healthy, and brings joy, while also leading a life that is productive and full of achievement? That is the question, and this is the podcast that will help give you the answers that you're searching for. My name is Del Denny, and welcome to the Upgrade Your Life podcast. Welcome to today's podcast. Today I want to talk about alignment and how important alignment is. Now, have you ever felt like your life is a little bit out of whack? Things might be going good in one area of your life, but you're kind of neglecting others. Well, sometimes our life can be out of alignment. Now, a good example, think about your car. Usually when I think of alignment, that's the first thing I think of. When your tires are out of alignment, and if it's just a little bit out of alignment, then you start drifting off. You think about your tires, for example. Your tire is a circle, but let's say that it wasn't a complete circle. Let's just say that there was a little divot in that, and you're driving along with that tire, and it wasn't completely a circle. It had a little chunk missing, and you're going through it. It's not a very smooth ride, and that's a lot like our life is. When our life is out of balance and it's out of alignment, things can get a little rocky for us. And so the question is, how do we get our lives back into alignment? Well, the first thing that we need to know is, what are the areas that we need to get into alignment? Yeah, alignment sounds great, but how do I get that wholeness like the tire? How do I have a smooth ride? And so I'm going to give you 8 different areas of focus to get your life back into alignment. Now, the first one is health. We have to have our health. If we don't have our health, we have absolutely nothing. We can have all the money in the world, but if we don't have our health, then what's the whole point of it? And so I want you to think about this on a scale of 1 to 10, and we'll do a little exercise here together as you're listening to this podcast. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not good at all and 10 being absolute perfect, where do you fall on that with your health? From a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? What's the first number that comes to your mind? An 8, 9 to 10, you're working out, you're healthy, you're lean, you get 8 hours of rest, you're eating healthy. How's your body doing? Is it the best shape that it's in? Think about that on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, if it's a 10, this isn't an area that we really need to focus on right now. But if we're at a 5 or a 6 or a 7, well, how do we bump it up a little bit? So that's the first area of focus. The second area of focus is our leisure time. It's the time that we have just to really do nothing. Do we have that time? A lot of us get burnt out because we work so much, we grind so much, we neglect this area of focus, and that's just having time to ourselves. That time that we waste is actually a good time. That's the time that we recoup. It's the time that we let our mind wander off. And so, do we have free time? Some of us may have a lot of free time. Some of us may not have enough. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing with a good balance of leisure time? Do you have time for yourself? And again, that scale of 1 to 10, wherever you're at, do you need to improve on that? Now, the third area of focus is love. Love and relationships. We can be working hard and we might be a 10 at work, but because we've grinded so much, we can neglect our loved ones, can't we? We can neglect our wife, our spouse, our partner, our husband, whatever it may be. We can neglect them. and we don't have that wholeness. And so think about on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing with your love life? All right, so let's go on to money. That's the fourth area of focus, is money. How are we doing with money? How are we doing financially? We may have a lot of love in our life. Our relationships may be going very, very well, but we may be out of a job. And so what does that feel like? Well, we might be really stressed right now. And so that's another area of focus, is money. A scale of 1 to 10, where are you coming in at? Can we improve on that? Now, another area of focus is our friends. It's our friends and our relationships. If we don't have our friends, we work too hard, or we focus just on one area, we can neglect our friends. And that can put us off a little bit. I know for myself, that's something that I've done in my life, where I've worked really, really hard. I've grinded a lot in my life. And as a result, I was traveling, and I didn't have time for my friends. And so now I make a very conscious effort to spend time with friends. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall on that friends section? Now, number 6 area of focus. There's 8 of these, so we're at number 6. Number 6 is spirituality. Everybody's different. Everyone has their own relationship with God or with the universe or whatever you want to call it. You may be Buddhist, you may be Christian, you may be Muslim. It doesn't matter, but everyone has a certain relationship with something bigger than themselves. And so where do you fall on that category? Scale of 1 to 10, can you improve on that area? If you're Christian, can you pray a little bit more? Or Muslim, can you pray a little bit more? If you're spiritual, are you meditating? Are you using mindfulness? Scale of 1 to 10, where are you at, and can you improve on that? Now, the next one here, number 7, is recreation. That's like outdoor activities. That's going out and doing an activity like going hiking, going bowling, just playing ping pong with your friends, right? Recreation. Are you getting out there and breaking a sweat? We may be grinding, right? We may be doing well in other areas, but we're neglecting this area. And there's can be really some peace and some solace that comes with going out and getting in nature. And so that is number 7 is recreation. So scale of 1 to 10, where are you at? Can we improve on that? Now, the 8th area of focus is personal development. And I'm going to venture to say, if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're doing pretty well in the personal development. This is what this podcast is about. But a lot of times when people are unhappy and they feel stagnant in their life, they're neglecting this area of personal development. So are you taking time to read and better yourself? Are you watching videos? Are you taking seminars? Are you reading books? Are you listening to podcasts? On a scale of 1 to 10, place your number of where do you think you are, 10 being great, 10 being the worst. If we're coming out of 5 or 6, can we improve on that? And so those are the 8 areas of focus. So if you ever feel that your life is out of whack, if you feel that things just aren't firing on all cylinders, it's good to go back to these 8 categories right here and really just gauge yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on each one of these. And you're like, okay, my love life, I'm at a 10. Money, I'm at a 10. Friends, I'm at a 10. But recreation, I haven't been for a hike in a long, long time. I'm at like a 2 on that one, or whatever you want to spend your recreation with. And so this is a good way to get yourself back on track, back into alignment with yourself. So that's it today, my friends. I hope this helped. If you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed and your life isn't going as planned, then my 2 cents is take a look at this and get your life back into alignment. So this is Del Denny signing off. Remember, learn, lead, and live to your full potential. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes to get automatic episode updates for the Upgrade Your Life podcast. And finally, please take a minute to leave us an honest review and rating on iTunes. Your feedback really helps us out when it comes to the ranking of the show, and I make it a point to read every single one of the reviews that we get. So thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me on the Upgrade Your Life podcast. Have a great day.